Hope you hear me clearly. Shouts out to everybody. My other phone is on this bullshit. I gotta try to find a way to get this shit to motherfucking act right, man. This shit's supposed to be. Shouts out to everybody. We're gonna do an HHN special report and another quick Legacy of Kain retrospective. I knew it. It's still between the hours of 11 and 4. Yeah, that's the second time. Let's hope everything play. If not, I don't know. I might just have to wait. But we'll see how this shit go. Gotta keep on fighting, right? Got my plate about to eat this rice. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna listen to some music. Give me a second, y'all. HHN special report, along with the Legacy of Kain retrospective. Let's get this shit popping right now.
So it's day 103 of President Trump's 4 to 6 week war. On Monday night, American forces lost an Apache helicopter. But what was it doing in the Strait of Hormuz, and what's going to be the implications of that for the peace process? Central commanders confirmed overnight the US conducted a series of retaliatory strikes against Iran for the loss of that Apache helicopter. The attacks were conducted against air defense sites and also radars near the Strait of Hormuz, all of which looks relatively limited in scope. But it is worth noting that the Iranians claim that Americans also attacked the island of Qeshm. Why is that important? Well, that's because that is where the Iranians store a lot of their weapons that they use to threaten the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the Iranians, for their part, have also mounted their own series of retaliations for the American strikes. They've conducted strikes against American military facilities in the region with a total of 21 strikes. Those have included strikes against Bahrain, which is the home of the US Fifth Fleet. There's also 5 missiles that were struck towards Jordan, the El Azraq air base. All of those were shot down, but it's also been a very busy night in Kuwait airspace as they've been intercepting missiles as well. What's really interesting here is neither side has claimed that there's been any material damage done to anything on the ground. Probably more importantly, though, we're not hearing of any casualties. If we had, particularly on the American side, the danger is here. We could have seen a spiral of escalation that could quickly have got out of control. But the core question, all of this has been started because of the loss of an Apache helicopter. But what was it doing in the Strait of Hormuz in the first place? Well, there's been widespread reports that American military shipping is actually escorting commercial vessels through the Strait in defiance of the Iranians. That would explain why the Iranians have been firing drones across at the Americans, and that's led for tit for tat over the last few days. But it might also explain the presence of the Apache helicopter, because the American warships can look after the anti-ship missiles, but the Apache is very well suited to the drones, but particularly the fast patrol boats that are on their way in. So has Iran actually specifically targeted the Apache helicopter? Well, each time that Iran has actually successfully targeted something American, it's actually claimed credit for it. On this occasion, there's no evidence they've done that. So is there another credible reason that this Apache could have been lost? Well, CNN is reporting that they've spoken to an American official that has confirmed that they believe that the Apache impacted, collided with a Shahed drone. Now, is that even remotely credible? Well, if I refer back to actually the war in Ukraine, the Russians are regularly launching huge waves of these Shahed drones. Now, Ukraine runs out of the expensive air defense missiles, so the next way of shooting them down is using bullets from either fighter jets or from helicopters. The challenge is you've got to get quite close to the Shahed to be able to kill it, and of course you've got a very big difference in speed. So the danger is you get too close, you fire your gun, the bullets strike and it explodes and you fly through the debris. So was this incident a result of actually the American Apache aircraft either just colliding with or actually getting caught in the debris of an attack on a Shahed, or was this a deliberate attack by the Iranians to try and use Shahed drones against the helicopter? Bluntly, that doesn't sound very credible at all, because these Shaheds are generally good against a fixed target, not a mobile one. But fog of war, who knows? What is interesting is what's the impact of this on the peace process? Well, President Trump keeps confirming that we're pretty close to a peace deal, but events of the last few days have demonstrated just how fragile the peace is, and it does feel we're further than ever away from any form of deal. What is also interesting, at the start of the war, President Trump would have expected his military to impose a defeat on Iran, and therefore he could dictate terms as to the nuclear debate and all of the conclusion of the war. Far from that. Iran has not been defeated. It still has a very robust military capability, and it has a lot of influence through control of the Strait of Hormuz. It's ready to negotiate. And that means there'll have to be compromises. That's something President Trump is not going to be comfortable with at all. Now, there is some common ground. Both of them want to see the Strait of Hormuz opened. Both of them want to see an end to the war. And both of them see a memorandum of understanding as a way to get to that. The big difference, though, which is the core reason that President Trump went to war, is about Tehran's nuclear ambitions. And it doesn't look likely that we're going to get to a conclusion of that anytime soon. Arguably, it's further away than ever. Of course, the tragedy, if that is true, the international community will be left wondering, what has the war actually achieved?
Nothing.
She's a member of the MLA for the Alliance Party. She's a representative of North Belfast, which is exactly the area where the beheading horror unfolded. But before we go to Nuala, let's have a listen to the Joint First Minister of Northern Ireland, Michelle O'Neill, speaking earlier about last night's violence.
People were concerned, people were worried for safety, all very understandable emotions. But what we saw spill onto our streets since Monday night had been nothing short of thuggery. What we saw had been nothing short of racism. We saw youths taken to the streets, young men masked, attacking families, burning them out of their homes, attacking public property, attacking businesses. All we've seen is criminality on our streets and a real attempt to underline racism in our society, which I do not believe is widespread.
Well, let's go over to Nuala McAllister. Welcome, Nuala.
Hello, good evening.
Hi. Is Michelle O'Neill right? Is Northern Ireland sort of full of racists? Is that why they were rioting?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that the disturbances and violence that took place last night were targeting ethnic minorities. There's no other way about it. There are racist people who took to the streets of Northern Ireland who used this incident the night before, which was absolutely horrific, to further their own agenda. We've actually had the family of the victim come out today and ask people to have peaceful protests where they are protests, and to not use this incident to fuel further hatred and division, that they're not doing anything to respect the dignity of the victim by carrying out their actions of violence that last night. And families were targeted simply because of the colour of their skin. They weren't Sudanese, they weren't related to the man, they weren't violent people, they were simply just from a different background.
So let me ask you this. You represent North Belfast, exactly the area where the horror unfolded on Monday night. It's a pretty obvious answer to this question, but did you ever expect to represent an area where such an event unfolded? Unbelievable act of primeval, primitive violence. Northern Ireland, of course, is no stranger to acts of violence, but my God, this one was off the scale. Well, tell me what you feel about that.
It was really disturbing. I think the very fact that it was caught on camera for everyone to see made it all the very more disturbing. But what I think is particularly difficult as an elected representative and a woman who has spoke up and violence against women and girls in particular here in Northern Ireland, what really disturbs me is people are acting as if this is something new that's happened here in Northern Ireland. Whenever just last week a man was sentenced for over 30 years for the brutal stabbing and death of his partner. But that happened behind closed doors, but it was utterly brutal. And the words of the judge last week, who said that the cause of the final blow to that woman couldn't be determined because of how horrific those actions were by that attacker. And we did not have protests on the street when that happened. We have not had protests on the street when the 30 women who have died in Northern Ireland in the past 5 years, many of those by stabbings. It's just hypocritical of the so-called patriots who take to the street and say that they are there to protect, whether it's women and children of their own communities, all the while destroying their very own communities, their own infrastructure, burning out people simply because
those chaos agents.
Their own infrastructure, burning out people simply because they look different.
And have you spoken to your constituents, people in the area? What is that road called? Kinnaird Road. Have you spoken to people?
In Kinnaird Avenue, yes.
Kinnaird Avenue. Have you spoken to people there? How are they feeling?
I've spoken to a few people on the ground, and there's many people who don't want to be named and others who didn't witness it but came out in the immediate aftermath, after the police and the ambulance service had arrived, and they were utterly shocked quite quickly. You could see it online. It's a small enough community, it's densely populated, but it is small and everyone knows everyone there, and they're utterly shocked. But the bravery of the man that everyone who has watched it has seen in the video for stepping in with the other men to actually get the man off him, I think he has to be commended, and he rightly so has. People
Matt McKinnon, a real hero. Matt McKinnon, a real hero.
And people were utterly shocked. I think that's just the word that I kept hearing is shocked. But actually they're now scared too for their neighbours who are of an ethnic minority background. I spent most of today as an elected representative on the phone to the police, to community representatives within different organisations, and to school principals where many children have simply not turned up and they're from an ethnic minority background. We've contacted as many as possible, and they are so afraid. they are so afraid to leave their own home and for what might happen next.
Well, that's tragic. It really is. But whilst of course we don't condone what we saw last night, we don't condone the violence, the rioting, the damage, the burning of people out of the house. And by the way, often in their twisted terms, the wrong people, Northern Ireland nationals, born and bred. I keep coming back to a story that's traumatized me. Some poor lady burnt out of her house saying, well, I got out, but my dog got burnt to death. I mean, these are horrific stories. That said, though, Nuala, I mean, the trigger for this is the migrant crisis. We saw a year ago riots in Ballymena. What is your feeling about what should be done about this? Because there is this kind of weird backdoor route into the UK via the border.
I have to interrupt you there because I actually don't believe that the trigger for this has been the migrant crisis. I think the trigger for this is people.
You think they just did it for no reason whatsoever? You think they rioted last night for no reason?
I think the people.
Well, come on, Nuala, they didn't riot for no reason.
Come on now, they didn't riot for no reason. I'm gonna have to agree with him. Now, what I think happened is, you know how like our governments put out chaos agents and have motherfuckers protesting, burning up shit. Those protesters was paid off. Some of us probably MI6 agents, yeah, because I did over there in the UK. So yeah, they probably MI6 agents. This motherfucker fucking up shit because they want the civil war to start and they pushing our backs against the wall. But like we're not doing it, but like we're protesting, and it's hundreds of thousands of us. 3-point-something million ready to fuck that bitch up, but like over here in Ireland, the main streets of Ireland. I don't know like where their head is at on this situation, but UK is going through the migrant shit. We're going through this shit, and they're going through this shit. It sounds like the New World Order is doing everything at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But pushing people backs against the wall. And they want us to do this. But like, I don't think they did this for no reason. I think they did this to motherfucker really trigger a motherfucking civil war. Or, trigger a race war. Because in our reality, like, if the shit is being caused by the governments or the parliament, and those the motherfuckers should be burning up. Not innocent fucking people. Motherfuckers is wild. It's like the school shooters or the mall shooters over here. Exactly. You come across the manifesto. You like, I have beef with the government, and I'm like, if you got beef with the government, blast the government. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Common sense. So like, well, let me know that like motherfuckers either a fucking MK Ultra agent, a Monarch Butterfly agent. Because at the end of the day, if you know you're about to get blasted, why not go out there, take out some motherfuckers?
Riot for no reason.
There have been plenty of people who've come out.
So why did they riot? Why did they take to the streets last night?
There have been plenty of.
Why did they? Can you answer that question? Why did they take to the streets last night then?
They took to the streets last night because they were thugs who wanted to engage in violence.
What about the peaceful protesters? There were peaceful protesters all over Northern Ireland as well.
People have a perfectly right. They have a right, as they always should, to protest. Yes, people do not have a right to illegally protest. But there is always going to be a difference of opinion when it does come to whether it's a legal migrant or an illegal migrant, whether it's a person who has come here to seek refuge or whether it's someone who's come here to work. However, what we must ensure is that we do not allow this incident to actually stir more division and hatred here in Northern Ireland. It's simply not acceptable, because at the end of the day, those who took to the streets to actually protest and say that something needs to be done, they did so knowing that they weren't going to engage in violence. If they weren't going to engage in violence, why were they covering up their faces? Why were they barricading streets? And why were they burning out people from their homes?
Yeah, why they covering up their faces? Because like they was part of the agents. They agents. Agents of chaos. The seeds of division and doubt and more fear. Fear. Welcome to Ireland, where chicks can suck their dick for a pot of gold.
There were people with intent, with vile intent. I agree with that. Listen, Nuala, I'm really pleased you came on to the show. Thank you very much.
The main streets of Ireland, where a chick can suck your dick for a pot of gold. I forgot I said that.
Much for your time. That's Nuala McAllister. She's the Alliance Party member for North Belfast, where exactly that beheading or attempted beheading.
Yep, that's what happened. All right, that was that. Now we got the last thing on the news, and then we go to the Soul Riva. But yeah, in other news, Carmelo Anthony got guilty. We already seen that coming, and we already know the racism behind that. We saw the kangaroo court. We can't defend ourselves in this country, but the evil powers that shouldn't be and their generations can do whatever the fuck they want. This is why I say burn this motherfucking country down, and I'm going to eventually. Like once I leave, get my rest, come back, Vonta talking to me through an earpiece, and I'm gonna be fucking shit up. But anyway, video game news. Oh no! Fuck that. We gotta play the new track first. I just dropped the new track, y'all. Double play real quick. And then we'll get to the news. Where the fuck? Oh my god! I just fucking grabbed it. I know I did. I know I sucked it over here. There you go. Oh, excuse me. All right. Yeah, about to play the new track, and then we can go on to the next. On to the next one. Double play. New track for the digital
Let's go! Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, throw it back, show me what you working with, twerking on the dance floor, girl, got me loving it, kicking everywhere, don't know who to pick, grab a petite chick and the one that's sympathy, the VIP with these ladies popping bottles, all up in Vegas with a whole bunch of models, going full throttle, about to fuck her in the suite, at the Marriott, then we going to the beach, on vacation, yeah, we fucking for a week, baby, giddy up, and you ride me to the beat, flip the side beat, had to bend her over, FDA, UI, had to get the water, call me Captain Kain, everybody know it, here's another order, baby, get down and blow it, baby, you the shit, God be exploded, girl, I love this, gotta cherish every moment, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Back up in the club, gotta do a show. Watching all these ladies twerking all on the floor. All these fine women that they put it on the show. Looking my way, y'all see them coming close. Clothes looking tight, know it from the start. Turning off the lights, now they glowing in the dark. Time to have a party, baby getting naughty. Off the Grey Goose, drinking on Bacardi. 1738, yeah, that Remy Martin. Take it to the room, get another party started. Lace around my neck, pound it to the bed shake, throwing full thrusters to this motherfucking bed ring, baby, you the shit. I would never call you dead weight. Hold it for me, baby girl, while this fucking song plays, baby, you the shit. I would never get a headache. Now twerk it for me, baby girl, while the song plays. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll.
New exclusive. Shout out to Phenom Rock One Production. double play. Give you that double dose. And I'm on the beat. Kain on the vocal. It's another club, baby. Look at it.
Let's go! Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, get it low, drop it to the floor, pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll, baby, throw it back, show me what you working with, twerking on the dance floor, girl, got me loving it, kicking everywhere, don't know who to pick. Grab a petite chick and the one that's super thick. The VIP with these ladies popping bottles. All up in Vegas with a whole bunch of models. Going full throttle, about to fuck her in the suite. At the Marriott, then we going to the beach. On vacation, yeah, we fucking for a week. Baby, giddy up and you ride me to the beat. Flip the side beat, had to bend her over. FDA, UI, had to get the water. Call me Captain Kain, everybody know it. Here's another order, baby, get down and blow it. Baby, you the shit, God be exploded. Girl, I love this, gotta cherish every moment. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Back up in the club, gotta do a show. Watching all these ladies twerking all on the floor. All these fine women, now they put it on the show. Looking my way, y'all see them coming close. Clothes looking tight, know they from the start. Turning off the lights, now they glowing in the dark. Time to have a party, baby getting naughty. Off the Grey Goose, drinking on Bacardi. 17. 38, yeah, that Remy Martin. Take it to the room, get another party started. Lace up on my neck, pound it to the bed straight. Throwing full doses to this motherfucking bed frame. Baby, you the shit, I would never call you dead weight. Take it from me, baby girl, while this fucking song plays. Baby, you the shit, I would never get a headache. Now I'm twerking for me, baby girl, while the song plays. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll. Baby, get it low, drop it to the floor. Pick it back up, baby, make that ass roll.
Yeah, got another hit for her again. I got one more song for the ladies. You already know what it is. I got that one more song. I think I might need one more. And the other is gonna be just I gotta ride that beat out. I gotta ride the beat out with the last track. It's gotta be hardcore. Like after the next female track, I gotta go in on these last ones. I gotta go in on these last four. Got the party track for the ladies. Got the nice slow jam for the ladies. Got the lofty vibe for the ladies. You know, like I think I might do one more. One more. It probably might be a slow jam. Who knows? But I don't want it to be too light. It's still a vibe because, like, you know, this Hurricane album is a motherfucking hardcore album, but I still got to get the fans what they want. And the ladies love when I give her that stroke. Do you feel the magic in my hands when I fight? Oh, yep, we're doing that. Johnny Gill. Yep, Johnny Gill. It's called Rub You the Right Way. Rub you the right way. Johnny Gill, that nigga killed that shit. Which is my command. The inspection is guaranteed. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, hold on and don't let go. Hey. Oh, I'll show you pleasure that you never know. I can't do it without laughing. I gotta get in the zone. Johnny Gill killed that shit. Look up Johnny Gill, Rub You the Right Way. That motherfucker killed it. This is before he got to New Edition. And I know when New Edition was looking for that extra member and they heard this song, they was like, oh, grab that motherfucker quick. Put that motherfucker in the group now. And then before you know, we got Was a Perfect Day. Once I became through. You know, they heard that shit. They was like, yo, he's the newest member of New Edition, y'all. Find Johnny Gill. But yeah. I know Jordan heard that. Jordan be like, man, you probably right. Because he fucks with Ralph. He fucks with Ralph. You know, I fucks with Johnny Gill. Johnny Gill the man. But Bobby Brown is the best dancer out of all of them. Nah, that nigga in the background, breathing all hard, not a move. The other group members are still old as shit, but like they at least dance. I'll be roasting the shit out of Bobby Brown. Like, yeah, you the most dancing nigga in this group. How dare you be in the background chilling by the steps? You fat motherfucker. Oh, the flamed his ass all day. Parody go. Thank you, Vata. Let's get it. VG News.
Been a lot of annoying discourse on social media, especially X and Reddit, probably Blue Sky as well. I don't go over there very much. A lot of weirdos over there. But the conversation is all about players, what players want to play as when they play video games, and there's an overwhelming number of people that will tell you right now, when it comes to playing as a hero or a villain or whatever in a video game, the last thing they want is a middle-aged white woman. Or just in general, man. I don't want to play as this middle-aged Karen, especially in a God of War game. This is so funny. And by the way, the actress that plays this character is beautiful. They went out of their way to bring out every imperfection they can. And it's always Western studios that do this. The Japanese, Korean studios, Chinese studios, they don't do this shit. But when it comes to Western studios, man, if that woman has a mole, they'll turn it into a mullet. So now you've got this God of War game. Nobody wants it. There's a Gears of War game that came out. Nobody wants that shit. Now people are trying to pretend like Gears of War 4 and 5 were amazing. They weren't. They were shit. And I'm not seeing any reason to go back.
I got part 5.
People are losing their minds over this shit. And it's just funny to me because for the most part, these people are like, yeah, I don't want to have Disney characters like this little thing on the screen. I want to play as badasses. I'm playing God of War. Nothing like this looks like God of War. No. I think it's a pretty valid argument to make for these people. They just don't want to spend their money on this shit. And they're like, I'm tired of it. I'll play something else. And everybody loses their mind.
Going back to 360.
Now, this game, like many of Sony's first-party games,
play Resident Evil 6.
Probably going to lose money. And that ain't good. So all the shit that's going to come out, it's time to defend this own answer. Well, I hope you defend it with your wallets when it comes out because it's going to need every sale that it can get. By the way, they claim that this is just a small group of people that are mad, but when you go down here and you look at the likes and dislikes just on this video, gameplay reveal trailer, yeah, it's got 413,000 likes, but it also has 216,000 downvotes.
Damn.
That's a significant number of people that are pretty irritated. And they're irritated because they don't want to play as some woman that's just got done grocery shopping and left a protest. Nobody wants to play as that woman. Sorry. And this seems to be a Western problem exclusively. And a lot of these asses, they act like they don't know what the hell anyone's talking about. They sure as hell know. They're just acting like they don't so they can fuck with discourse.
Right, so they can fuck with discourse. I've been seeing this shit since 2016. It is 2026. Like I said, I've been seeing Western developers make all females ugly or fucking gay with no storyline, no great background, and they just like push it on you and force it on you like, oh my God, I hate this shit, and still have the nerve to charge your ass full price. And don't get me started on if the game got bugs and you gotta wait for the patches. I miss back in the day, you buy a fucking game, you put the disc in the fucking system and it comes on. And if it don't come on, you better have your motherfucking receipt to take it back and get another one at work. But this shit is crazy. And plus, it's called God of War. You know, but I wouldn't mind playing with Fate Adjust. I wouldn't mind playing with her, but she should have been the DLC. This is too late. Like, this is my gripe with it. It's like, one, it's too fucking late. Why would you make this story and it take place in between the same story of 2018? You should have dropped that shit either at the end of that year when the God of War 2018 came out, or the following year, like, we get a DLC. Because, like, you didn't get a DLC. You have to wait for a new game plus. I was heated about that. Once I beat the game, I was like, oh shit, there's nothing else to do. But like when they did the update and you get the new game plus, I was like, bet it up, let's go. I still gotta beat this bitch on Give Me God of War. I'm at the final secret boss. This bitch is whooping my ass. The queen of the fucking Valkyries. Her name is Sigrun. That bitch whoops my ass. But like what I hate about fighting her on the hardest level, there are certain glitches in this game that it just fucking cheating. It's like it's a glitch and you'll get stun locked. Oh my god, the stun lock. Oh my god, I want to just kill myself when I get stun locked. Don't ever get stun locked and you really try to do some important shit in the video game. But anyway,
it's not even worth arguing with them. You should just make fun of them when they try to act stupid.
Yeah,
Just
make
mock
fun of
them.
yeah, make fun of when they try to act stupid. But like basically, we just got gripe with all the video games that's coming out, and they fucking up the female characters. They have a horrible storylines, and it's just all bad. It's just all bad all the way around. Now, let's get off into the Soul Reaver. But before I do that, I didn't play my girl yet, baby. You know our baby, Amelia. You know we gotta have our way with her.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm English, and I love England. I like having fish and chips and a pint at the local pub. I like Shakespeare and Dickens, Tolkien and Lewis, Harry Potter. I like pork, sausage, and dogs, and fashion. Haram!
That's funny, Martin. But you would get the gist of it. Like if you I think you followed the discourse of what everybody's talking about, but like some people are actually shilling for this shit. Like this could be a good game. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Corey Barlog, the one that made this shit, he said he threw a lot of motherfucking secrets and Easter eggs. It's making people go back to the 2018 game. Like that's the one I got. I don't got Ragnarok, but I played it. I need to buy that bitch though. But like at the same time, I know what they did to the story, and I kind of don't want to get it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of don't want to get it, but like at the same time, I do want to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's God of fucking War. But yeah, but it's like since 2016, most video games, movies, TV shows, best-selling novels, and comic books, they have been making women ugly. They have been having horrible storylines. They've been making motherfuckers gay. They have been race-swapping motherfuckers. And, and they expect us to be cool with it. They're just, like, forcing it on us. And they're talking about there's no representation. And, like, what makes me mad is y'all faggots been getting representation since the fucking 90s and early 2000s, as far as I've seen and grown up and seeing. That fucking Queer Eye for the Straight Guy shit in the 2000s that was getting awards and talk of the town. Mario Canton from Sex and the City getting props. Let's go to the 90s. RuPaul. Y'all actually threw a dress and a wig on Wesley Snipes before he was Blade. I should whoop y'all asses for that. So it's like, like not only Wesley Snipes, it was John Leguizamo and Patrick Swayze. Roadhouse Patrick Swayze. So it's like, yo, y'all have representation. And spoiler alert, most of Hollywood is fucking faggots anyway. Surprise! But motherfuckers want to be in the closet. He came out the closet! He came out the closet! But yeah. He got me.
Haram! But I don't like that. Brits are famously polite, but it mustn't mean we're willing to commit cultural suicide. Our institutions, the Church of England, the BBC, are a bunch of queers and nonces. How the bloody hell did we go from Churchill to you git? Sadiq Khan, the mayor? This is London, mate, not Afghanistan. Or Star Wars.
I'll get him that.
Our government won't even protect our schoolgirls from grooming gangs. Sod off, wankers. The police won't help. They're too busy confiscating garden tools and suppressing free speech.
That's right, miss. What have I done, officer? You've tweeted rudely, and you're under arrest.
Curry is fine, but we have several recipes already. There are 50 Islamic nations in the world. Muslims don't need to be on our island. They want to conquer it. The government says it must be this way. That doesn't make it right, does it, Robin Hood?
No, my lady.
These dragons that threaten our England won't go away unless brave knights rise up to slay them. Or did all the British bloodlines with any bollocks get killed off in World Wars 1 and 2? Englishmen, it's your country, and it's being taken from you. Chav, posh, doesn't matter. We're already all in this together. I don't want this to be the future of the women of England, and I'm sure the women of Iran and Afghanistan didn't want it either. Your ancestors beat the Spanish Armada, Napoleon, and the Nazis. Surely you can handle welfare tourists. History will record what you do or don't do. Get cracking, lads. Love, Amelia.
Love, Amelia. We need more TNA and GTA. Otherwise, we're going to do the hot coffee mod like we did for San Andreas. That hot coffee mod blew my motherfucking mind when I saw my homeboy put that mod in. Because you can get girlfriends on San Andreas. And if you do real good on the date, you get to go to their house and you get to fuck them, right? But in the original game, you don't see them smashing. Like you just get a camera shot of the house and you can hear the sounds coming from the house. But the hot coffee mod, with the hot coffee mod, you could be fucking the motherfucking chick in the bedroom. They'll show it'll still look like the video game. Ain't nothing exclusive. It's just, it's hilarious though. But you get to see it. It's called the hot coffee mod. And oh my God. I don't even think they let people do that shit no more. I'm not really sure. But mods is getting smarter by the day. And that was back in 04. So no telling how the mods are now. I know the mods are crazy on motherfucking Call of Duty and a whole bunch of other shit. So I'm like, yo, I can add that. But if I was to mod, I'd just mod clothing and cars or some shit. I wouldn't want to mod myself to, be OP. I would though, because but I feel it'll take the fun out of everything. I was like, God damn, the game's supposed to be realistic. I'm flying around this bitch like Homelander, shooting eye beams at jets and shit, getting 5 stars. And then when they chasing me, I could get away because I'm fucking Superman. I'm flying through the sky at Mach 5. Like, ain't fun. But the mods, people are creative with it. That's all I can say. Now let's get to this Legacy of Kain. This is the last one I'm going to do. It's about understanding trust, manipulation, betrayal, and then at the final it's man, this game is awesome. The only game that can really truly explore this shit. But y'all heard the clips on the first video or so, River. Now this is like a breakdown of the mentality, the breakdown of what I was trying to break down.
You have grown willful, Raziel, but beware to embrace.
It's 26 minutes, so by the time it get done, it be close to 9:30. That's if I don't stop it. So I'm gonna just let it play. So by the time you're done, you can be able to get you something to eat. If you're not haven't already ate, try to make sure you're straight. I don't want to be here too long, as I know it's 9:04 over there in the UK.
The serpent is to invite poison into your heart. Kain is a sinuous beast. He will seduce and deceive you. You pride yourself on your free will, yet you let that degenerate deter your resolve.
I harbor no illusions about his integrity, nor anyone else's. In fact, I am the second on all sides. I merely seek the truth.
Betrayal is a theme that runs deep in Legacy of Kain. To anyone series, it should come as no surprise that treachery and deceit are inevitable in the power plays of Nosgoth's dark and twisted world. From the very beginning of Blood Omen 1, our protagonist Kain is used as a carefully crafted tool. He is ambushed and murdered by a band of assassins, who are secretly acting under orders from the necromancer Mortanius. After he is killed, it is Mortanius who revives Kain as a fledgling vampire. When Kain is then given the opportunity to avenge his own murder, he eagerly accepts. Revenge is a powerful emotional trigger that mobilizes people into action. Mortanius understood how persuasive the thought of getting revenge could be to someone as petty and arrogant as Kain. The allure of deriving pleasure from wanting to hurt and kill his assassins clouds Kain's judgment, and he falls into the necromancer's trap.
Sometimes you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge. What you want to do?
Mortanius used Kain. He presented himself as an enigmatic benefactor and father figure to the young vampire, but at the same time, he was the cause of Kain's murder. He turned Kain into a monster and unleashed him upon the corrupted members of the Circle. While this plan was necessary to correct the world's imbalance, Kain was never given a choice in the matter. He had his mortal life stolen from him. He did not forge his own path. Mortanius.
And that's why Kain had to do what he had to fucking do. When he realized his whole life was orchestrated and he didn't have a choice, he chose to take himself off the game board and motherfucking rearrange his fate. You know, but if y'all saw the first video, it explained a little more, but like this is him in the beginning on why he has these motivations. Like I didn't capture Blood Omen. I just spoke about Blood Omen in the first video. But like this is talking about what happened in Blood Omen. He was killed by Mortanius, sent his assassins on him, just to revive him, get revenge on motherfuckers so you can motherfucking bring the peace and balance to the pillars. But like at the same time, took a man's motherfucking freedom of choice away and manipulated him into killing motherfuckers.
Forged it for him. In fact, much of Kain's quest in Blood Omen had him unwittingly fulfilling the machinations of other players. The Oracle of Nosgoth, eventually revealed to be Mobius the Time Streamer, tricked Kain into igniting a genocidal war against the vampires, leaving him as the last of his kind. When Kain learns this, he is disgusted at the idea of being manipulated.
I had been betrayed. In my haste, I had not realized it before. That sigil on his forehead, the Oracle of Nosgoth, was in fact the Time Streamer Mobius, and I had followed his advice. How much of my quest was of his design? Willendorf? The Battle of the Last Stand? William the Just? Was this the trap he had fashioned for me?
Towards the end of the game, more plots and schemes are revealed. Kain watches Mortanius slay his fellow Pillar Guardian, Anakroth, before he proceeds to defeat the Necromancer himself and the dark entity controlling him. With only one pillar left unrestored, Kain has an epiphany. He himself is the final insane member of the Circle. He is Ariel's successor, born to replace her as Balance Guardian. He had been chosen in the brief interval between her death and the Pillar's corruption. Again, Kain realizes he's being deceived. The spirit of Ariel had promised Kain release from the curse of vampirism in exchange for murdering the other members of the Circle, but it turns out the cure he sought is his own death. Ariel motivated Kain by telling him a convenient half-truth for her benefit, not for his. It is no wonder then that Kain refused to sacrifice. He detests liars and traitors. These deceptions have shaped Kain's character into someone who values honesty and loyalty above all other virtues. This becomes apparent in the later Soul Reaver titles. As a monarch, Kain is driven by a desire to control his fate and reshape Nosgoth. But his position also comes with responsibility and the consequences of leadership. When building his vampire empire, he knew that if it was going to succeed, he needed formidable allies devoted to him. He raised the Seraphan commanders.
That's what's up if you're listening, because like at the end of the day, most people don't know about Soul Reaver or Blood Omen. Blood Omen came out in 1995. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver came out in 1999. And I think Soul Reaver 2 is like 2001, 2002. And I think Defiance came out probably between 04 and 06. But yeah, like this is a classic. This is a classic.
To serve as his 6 vampire lieutenants, because he understood that not only would they be powerful subjects, but also loyal ones. Loyalty is the bedrock of any community and civilization. It is through relationships of mutual trust and understanding that societies can exist at all. Resurrecting the Seraphan was a pivotal move on Kain's part. In their long-forgotten past, the Seraphan had been dedicated to eradicating vampires. By turning them into the things they once reviled, Kain had won a symbolic victory, having literally converted his greatest enemies into his strongest allies. Kain's empire was vast and complex. The Seraphan, now vampire lieutenants, led the 6 great clans that formed the backbone of the kingdom. This hierarchical structure allowed Kain to maintain his seat of power over Nosgoth and its inhabitants, while helping him maintain stability and order. Loyalty was the cornerstone of Kain's ability to build and sustain his empire, ensuring that his rule remained unchallenged and his vision for Nosgoth realized. As one of Kain's most loyal and trusted lieutenants, Raziel held a key role. Initially, Kain acted as a mentor to Raziel, guiding him and bestowing upon him significant responsibilities as the leader of Clan Razielim. His loyalty unwavering, Raziel served Kain faithfully until the day their relationship took a dark turn, when Raziel evolved to grow wings, surpassing Kain in physical form. Kain, pretending to feel threatened and jealous by this transgression, condemned...
Pretending! But what Kain did was he needed Raziel to be the extra piece for his board.
Raziel to the abyss, casting him into a state of eternal torment. This act of betrayal was far worse than any breaches of trust Kain suffered at the hands of Mortanius, Ariel, and Mobius. We must remember that the fledgling Kain had only known these people for a short time, anywhere from a few days to a few weeks, whereas Raziel had served Kain faithfully for over 1,000 years. He had admired and respected Kain deeply for a millennium. For Kain to then shatter that trust and publicly humiliate Raziel in front of his brothers must have felt like a profound violation. Likewise, the physical agony of being consumed by the abyss, combined with the emotional torment of losing his former identity and status, surely would have been excruciating. After his execution, Raziel was no longer the proud vampire leader, but a tormented soul seeking vengeance and answers.
I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn.
When Raziel awakens in the depths of the Lake of the Dead, he discovers an ancient deity. Raziel's anger and feelings of betrayal make him vulnerable, and like any devious manipulator, the Elder God exploits these emotions to his advantage, urging Raziel to seek retribution and promising him redemption if he follows his guidance. It's interesting to see the Elder God use the same tactic Mortanius used to motivate a young Kain. In this way, Raziel and Kain's respective journeys mirror each other as they were both initially driven by vengeance. However, the Elder God's influence over Raziel goes beyond simply toying with his emotions. He presents himself to Raziel as a benevolent entity and appeals to the Wraith's sense of righteousness, convincing him that his role is a noble one. According to the Elder, Raziel's resurrection and purpose are necessary to restore balance by destroying Kain and the rest of his vampire spawn. Throughout Soul Reaver 1, the Elder God carefully controls the flow of information, presenting himself as the only source of truth. He keeps Raziel isolated and dependent on his guidance, ensuring that his servant remains under his influence. Given that Raziel has limited knowledge about the true nature of the world and broader machinations at play, this ignorance allows the Elder God to dupe Raziel more easily, directing his actions under the guise of restoring balance. He twists the narrative to make Raziel believe that his actions are necessary for the greater good, when in reality they serve the Elder God's own parasitic needs. For the Elder and Raziel shared a symbiotic connection. Whenever Raziel consumed a soul, the Elder's hunger would be satiated as well. Raziel's trust in the Elder only starts to wane after he journeys into the past to follow Kain. During his travels through Nosgoth's history, Raziel encounters Mobius and learns that he's working in league with the Elder God. Given Mobius's reputation for deceit, this alliance raises serious red flags for Raziel about the Elder God's trustworthiness. After all, Raziel had learned much about the Time Streamer's exploits while serving under Kain.
The Oracle's Cave, where Kain's first fateful meeting with Mobius occurred. Mobius played the role of a doddering soothsayer, stirring his pot of visions while dispensing enigmatic predictions to gullible visitors. Underneath the facade was Mobius the Time Streamer, sorcerer of the Circle of Nine, a ruthless manipulator with the power to bend time. Since his murder at Kain's hands centuries ago, these caves have stood vacant, though, like Mobius himself, they are rumored to be only a facade for a much larger, more elaborate complex.
I thought I thought I was giving you the better idea. I'll give you the whole damn story. This is the whole story of the game. Fuck it, I might as well just go back and try to fucking play it, man. But I don't even know where to fucking buy that game, man. That game is under fucking classic shit now. I don't even know. Shit, I'm not aware of that bitch yet.
I deduced, must be the man himself, the Time Streamer, Mobius. He seemed not at all the impressive figure I had imagined from Kain's boasted exploits. And yet, even this cold image radiated a certain undeniable power.
I find Raziel's interactions with Mobius to be some of the most compelling moments in the series. Every conversation between the two is layered with manipulation, half-truths, and strategic revelations, and this complexity makes their dialogues rich and engaging. When they meet for the first time in Soul Reaver 2, Mobius leans on his staff for support, acting as a kind but feeble sorcerer. But Raziel recognizes how dangerous the man is, and he's immediately suspicious of him. He lunges at Mobius and grabs him by his neck, hurling him up against the wall. In response, the Time Streamer feigns surprise and fear, but only for a moment.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Yeah, this was my uncle's favorite game. R.I.P. to my uncle that just, passed last year. Oh, like this was his game. And he started from Blood Omen. And like I used to sit there and watch him play Blood Omen. Kain just slaying every fucking body. And then he gets Soul Reaver. Now you playing with Raziel. Kain is supposedly a bad guy, but like find out he's an anti-hero when it gets to the end of the game, and then going into part 2, he's still after Kain. He still want to kill Kain. Raziel still want to kill this motherfucker. But Kain's like, listen. That's why I played those clips. It was like, yo, You got to find out for yourself. It's like, this is when I flip the coin and it lands on this edge. You are the key to all this, Raziel. You just got to see it, you know.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
Ah, you two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
We can see as they speak, Mobius's whole demeanor changes. He becomes composed, confident, and in control. He understands that he doesn't need to appear as an adult old magician to get what he wants. He can trick and mislead Raziel just as easily without pushing on such an act. Mobius prevails by framing Kain as the primary source of Nosgoth's corruption. He reveals Kain's location and encourages Raziel to re-embrace his former humanity, thus steering him towards a confrontation with Kain. Upon arriving at the Pillars, Kain and Raziel debate the extent of Kain's guilt and culpability. As Kain discussed the implications of his birth and corruption, Raziel was able to witness the Pillars themselves, corrupting firsthand. By seeing key historical events unfold before his eyes, Raziel gains a deeper understanding of Nosgoth's history. Kain then explains how his fateful decision that day before Ariel was rigged, and that neither his refusal to kill himself nor his sacrifice would solve anything. In either case, Nosgoth would still have been damned. Over time, Raziel starts to realize that Kain's decision to cast him into the abyss, though seemingly cruel, was part of a greater plan to challenge fate and restore Nosgoth to its former glory.
I am surprised too. I'm surprised too, Walter. But I think they couldn't find the actors that could compel us like these actors that was doing these voices. If they ever did a movie, it'd have to be just like the game, with, you know, but like with better graphics and the, you know how the CGI sci-fi budget is. It'd have to be looking like a dog ass CGI movie. But I have to bring back these characters because we're going to know if there's not the characters that's supposed to be these voices. I don't even know if these characters are still alive. This has been so long ago. It's 2026. Last time I heard all these people together was 2005, 2006. It's damn near over 20 years ago. I'm like, man. Oh, a series like The Witcher. The Witcher is awesome. Witcher 3, woo-wee. I love that game. And the DLC.
Realization adds a layer of intrigue to the theme of trust between the two, as Raziel grapples with understanding Kain's motives while still feeling the pain of his betrayal. It is clear Raziel's interactions with Kain during his journey provides him with alternative perspectives and insights that challenge Mobius and the Elder Gods' narratives. This slowly helps Raziel move past his anger and hatred towards seeking truth instead, thereby becoming a more introspective and self-aware individual. The evolution of Kain and Raziel's contentious but often dynamic relationship reflects the complexities found in real-life relationships, where admiration, conflict, and eventual understanding can coexist. After Raziel's resurrection as a wraith, Kain continued to guide him, testing him through various trials. These encounters pushed Raziel to question his own motivations and the wider implications of his actions. Kain's behavior is driven by his belief in Raziel's purpose in fulfilling a greater destiny. While Kain's actions are far from nurturing, the underlying elements of mentorship and guidance are still there, suggesting a father and son dynamic between them, albeit a deeply flawed and tumultuous one. Following their history-altering encounter in William's Chapel, where Raziel chooses to spare Kain, Raziel returns to the Circle's gathering room. Just then, Mobius rushes in, shaken and alarmed. He thought he had successfully orchestrated Kain's murder at Raziel's hands, but now everything has gone horribly awry. He knows Kain has survived, and that the course of history has therefore been changed. This means Kain and Raziel both know about the Reaver convergence, which, up to that point, Mobius believed was his precious little secret. In this scene, Raziel greets Mobius smugly, realizing that he has gained the upper hand, and he relishes in the moment.
Ah, yes. I like that look on your face, Mobius. You really don't know what to do now, do you, old man? Here you are, caught without your damned staff, and I suspect things aren't progressing quite as you'd hoped. You're not used to the fly turning to confront you in your web, are you? Kain's devious influence has poisoned your mind, Raziel. Now you see betrayal everywhere, even in your closest allies. We were never allies, Mobius. Conspirators, perhaps. Briefly. Why did you not kill Kain when you had the chance? He was at your mercy. Precisely. I had a choice, and I chose mercy. And now I know your sordid little secret. The significance of that displacement I felt when the two Reavers came together. Strangely enough, I was enlightened by the devious Kain, not by you. In fact, I've learned much more than you counted on. I understand now how you've tried to manipulate all of history for your own personal gain. But now all your little schemes are whirling in ruin around you, aren't they? All because I chose to exert my will for once, rather than obey the demands of sorcerers and spirits and demons, all singing the same tiresome refrain, kill Kain. I'm setting my own path from here, Mobius. I intend to discover the truth behind all of this. But you condemn us all with this impetuous act. Hardly impetuous. It took all the will I could muster. Has my refusal to kill Kain reshuffled your carefully stacked deck of cards? You really think that you're exercising your free will, Raziel? You're simply Kain's servant. I do not serve Kain. I merely did not kill him. Raziel, do not forget your purpose here. You are destined to be the savior of Nosgoth. Oh, I'm sick of hearing that particular phrase. As for saving Nosgoth, so far I see precious little reason to bother. And I'll choose my own purpose from here on out, Time Streamer. Right now, I choose to manipulate you for a change. Go. In there. What are you doing? Come now, Mobius. You're a cunning serpent. You'll piece it together, I imagine. This era is of no further use to me. You will operate this device to provide me passage. I want to see the world in a simpler time, before the Sarafan began their crusade. And what about Kain? You're leaving your core behind. You kill him if it's so damned important. You need only touch the two poles of the switch, and the device will transport you. But I urge you to reconsider. You've lost your powers of persuasion, old man. Rot here and forget me.
At the start of this cutscene, we can tell that Mobius is genuinely shocked and distressed as he struggles to regain control of this situation. But unbeknown to Raziel, he also knows precisely how history has reshuffled itself and is deliberately appearing vulnerable to let Raziel think he's in control. Here, Mobius feigns helplessness to disarm Raziel and make him underestimate the Time Streamer's true capabilities, which unfortunately Raziel falls for yet again. As Mobius turns away dejectedly, he breaks into a cunning grin, signifying he has more deceptions planned. Raziel is then transported to a ghastly era following Blood Omen, where a cataclysmic storm rages outside. This was not the earlier point in history Raziel intended to travel to, and he presumes that Mobius propelled him into the future to keep him ignorant of his true destiny in Nosgoth's past. But Mobius's manipulations are in fact multi-layered. This was actually a part of a much larger scheme to deepen Raziel's resolve to travel back in time and find the ancient Janos Ordran. To seek out the father of the vampires, Mobius ensures that Raziel inadvertently leads the Seraphan to Janos, resulting in Janos' death, and then, eventually, pushing the Wraith towards murdering his former brethren, before almost having his soul be consumed by the Reaver. This manipulation serves Mobius' goal of maintaining control over the timeline and ensuring the cycle of conflict continues. The Time Streamer's schemes are a testament to his cunning and foresight, making him one of the most intriguing and devious characters in the entire series. This is why Kain's presence in the story is so important, because he is the antithesis of everything Mobius stands for. While Kain has been described by Raziel as a fatalist, the Vampire Emperor chooses to trust in Raziel's free will during a pivotal moment in William's chapel. He relinquished the Soul Reaver to Raziel because he had faith his former lieutenant would make the right choice and shape his own destiny. Raziel's decision to spare Kain demonstrates his growth and ability to make choices independent of those who would seek to control him. In turn, Kain saves Raziel from being absorbed by the Reaver Blade, creating a massive time paradox that alters the course of history.
Are you enjoying this game? Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it. Was this your destiny for me all along? Trust me. I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver Blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin. The minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything. Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
By saving each other, Kain and Raziel defy their predetermined destinies, rejecting the notion that their fates are sealed, instead placing trust in their own decisions and actions. The intricate dynamics between Kain and Raziel continue in Legacy of Kain Defiance, where Kain again asks Raziel to trust him in a tense situation. But here, events have turned against them, and Raziel rejects Kain, interpreting his plea as a threat. By the end, however, they are able to reconcile, and Raziel pledges his allegiance to Kain once again. The Legacy of Kain series ultimately takes a complex view of the themes of trust, manipulation, and betrayal. Sometimes it's necessary to break one's trust for the sake of a greater goal, and sometimes there is no choice in the matter, but a victim of betrayal can still find solidarity with their betrayer. As Raziel learns about Kain's true intentions, he begins to get a more nuanced understanding of the vampire, even if this means going against his initial instincts. These lessons highlight that trust is not just about blind faith, but involves understanding, sacrifice, and the willingness to see beyond one's personal feelings to uncover a deeper truth. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me.
And that's what Raziel was looking for. Was like, I just want to find the truth about all this shit, you know. But shout out to my uncle for motherfucking putting me up on this, because if it wasn't for my uncle, I wouldn't even know nothing about Blood Omen or Soul Reaver. Like you also put me up on Metal Gear. Also, it's like these are not just games. This is our like movies. It's like cinematic masterpieces. You feel what I'm talking about? Like, these can go head to head with actual movies. You know, so I gotta shouts out to Legacy of Kain. Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen 2, Soul Reaver 1, Soul Reaver 2, and Legacy of Kain Defiance. Great game. But Kain had to do what he had to do. But shit, Raziel could have killed Kain. But, and this goes back to what I was saying about chess. You know, chess is about sacrifice. And if you know the game is rigged, you flip the board over. But if you're going to play the game, you got to be the piece that controls the pieces. You can't be the king on the board. You can't be the queen on the board. No other piece. You got to be the one outside the board, and you got to look for your pawns. Look for your king, your queen, your knights, your bishops, or whatever, the rooks. And you control them. But at the same time, they got to be willing to sacrifice their lives for you. That's what I saw in chess. I know everybody had their own little meaning of chess. Life is chess, not checkers, and all this shit. But my shit is, if you're going to play chess, motherfuckers got to sacrifice their life for you. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. You know. And besides, I like this chess analogy better because everybody else used the same. I like to use something different. I don't want to be part of the paradigm. I want to have my own little motherfucking chess analogy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit. The best way to win the game is to not play at all. But you're going to play the game, you're not a piece on that board. You are a piece that controls the pieces. Because if you look at reality, they say life is chess, not checkers. Well, guess what? The powers that be is fucking cheating. They're using their motherfucking kings as queens. They're using their rooks as knights. They're using bishops as rooks. They're using pawns as queens. Like, nah, we're not about to just keep on playing this rigged fucking game. And going back and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, man, I'm on the path of Kain from Legacy of Kain. I control my own fucking fate. Like, fuck this bullshit. You know, just thinking about it right now. Just thinking about it right now. It's just like, yeah. And then now, oh my fucking God, this was on the scene of The Witcher also. Not the show. I never watched the show. I played the game. But there's a moment on the game where Garrett meets Radovid, bloodthirsty ass motherfucking king. Kill witches like, he on the search for all the motherfucking sorcerer bitches trying to kill them hoes. He motherfucking made one go blind. She got her revenge though. I'm glad she did. But he was saying like chess was about sacrifice. But like dude said it more sinister though. But it's still like understandable. She remember I found that shit out fucking early before I even played The Witcher. The motherfucker that's all about sacrifice. Because I see chess not as a game full of pieces. I see warriors on the board. I don't see pieces. I see actual people. My mind is kind of wired like that. I'm sorry. It's like what they did when they put chess on the Mortal Kombat. I think it was Deadly Alliance, or it was either Deadly Alliance or whatever the fuck. When they came back to the PS2, they put chess on one of those Mortal Kombat games. And and it was just like how motherfucker you see it in my mind. I'm like, yeah, dog, I see warriors. But thanks for saying facts. But let me get up out of here. It's 4:39. That means it's 9:39 over there. I'm gonna let you get something to eat, and I'm gonna let you chill out. I go to work later, so it ain't gonna be no Detroit After Dark tonight, but it might be one tomorrow night. But shouts out to my lovely UK correspondent Vonta. You already know what it is. Shouts out to Alki. Shouts out to Live and Learn. Shouts out to Eyes Wide Shut. Shouts out to Big Stacks. Shouts out to Who else? Octavius Prime. I think that's it. Yep. Yo, Alki, Live and Learn, Eyes Wide Shut, Big Stacks, Christavius Prime, and much love to the goddess Vanta, and everybody's gonna watch on the playback. I know this game ain't for everyone, but catch y'all in a minute. And y'all know how we ended. Mic check. I walk around the streets with my black tech now by the waistline, looking the hype shit. I never claim to be the best type of rapper, but I have to show the motherfuckers what I'm after. I'm after the gold, and after that the platinum, beef after that, Hurricane G packs the gats up, bow, trigger bang bang. Much love to Vanta. It is UK After Dark. Oh yeah. And I'll catch y'all in a minute. Like I already ate. I was eating in the middle of the live. I was probably about to work on some music and probably try to rest before I go to work. But I'm so in the zone with this music. You know how I be. I'm working on another track. I'm done with the first verse. I gotta do a hook in the second verse, and I might be done with another track. Happy Hump Day. You know. And it's UK After Dark. Oh yeah. Giddy up. Make it show.